You are aware of the news that the visa ban imposed on Nigerians by United Arab Emirates has been lifted. Since assuming office in May 29, 2023, Bola Tinubu has held bilateral talks with the UAE government in a bid to get the ban lifted. There have been at least two conflicting reports, or more like propaganda reports, that the United Arab Emirates government has lifted up the ban. On each of these occasions, the United Arab Emirates government came out to debunk those reports as false. However, the ban has been officially lifted up. Nigerians can now travel to United Arab Emirates, their preferred destination, Dubai. Before you get excited over the news, I want you to hold on a minute. The federal government set up criteria to be met by Nigerians who wish to apply to get visa to travel to the United Arab Emirates. A website to be used for the processing of visas was rolled out by the Minister of Information, and some of the criteria in that website are a 640,000 non-refundable fee to be paid by anyone who wishes to obtain a visa, and the person must show a proof of fund of $10,000. Investigative journalist David Hundeyin uncovered this website to be a scam website that was rolled out by the Nigerian government to scam her citizens. The United Arab Emirates government equally came out to debunk that website, calling it a scam website that does not have anything to do with them. I want you to listen to David Hundeyin as he explained what really went down.
The first thing I did was to go check the registration of the website on who actually owns this website. Because the first thing I noted was all official UAE government websites end with the domain .gov.ae. This website ended with the domain .ae, which is a freely accessible domain. It's not a UAE government domain. But again, the people behind it obviously don't expect Nigerians to be able to tell that there's a difference. So there was a deliberate attempt to misrepresent this website as a UAE or government official website, which it categorically was not. It was .ae. So I went to find out who is behind this thing. And one of the very first results that came up was from a platform called Scam Advisor, which basically looks out for such websites and advises visitors as to the reliability of this website. And it said very clearly that the actual beneficial owner of this website is hiding their identity using a paid service. So usually how that works is there's a middleman or an entity that specializes in operating or registering websites on behalf of clients. So the client's identity isn't displayed on the Whois record. It's the middleman's identity. And this middleman turned out to be this Canadian fellow called John Goffin. And when I did some little research on this fellow, it turned out that this fellow works for a Spanish IT company that specializes in creating sustainable revenues for African governments. So essentially, if you're familiar with the business model of Alpha Beta Consulting in Lagos, this is basically the Spanish version of Alpha Beta, but it only seems to do any business in Africa. So just off of that alone, already you could tell very clearly what was going on here. Someone has deliberately misrepresented a private website with a .ae domain as a UAE government website, and then the Minister of Information has gone and tweeted it as though it's something that came from the UAE authorities, which it categorically did not. And then you've been able to establish that the person, whoever is actually behind this website, is actually hiding their identity. And they're using this Canadian middleman working for this Spanish IT company that specializes in inserting itself into arbitrage opportunities in African public sector spaces. And my hypothesis was that there's a private entity that has positioned itself to make money from an inefficiency in the Nigerian public sector. This is a very common way of making money, illicit money in the Nigerian public space, where hypothetically speaking, there's a road and the road is freely accessible. So what you then do is you go put up a gate in the middle of the road and start charging people to pass through it. So you've created an income opportunity for yourself without creating any value for people. That's a very regular way of becoming rich in the Nigerian public sector.
Yeah. Is it possible?
And my hypothesis was
Yeah,
Sorry?
I just wanted to ask, is it possible that Mohammed Idris was not aware? Or, are you maybe alluding to the fact that, he also was aware that this might have been a fraudulent website, and the whole idea of charging Nigerians 640,000 naira per person, he's very much aware. Is there that possibility?
Well, he honestly cannot say that he's not aware. First of all, it's his job to be aware. He's the Minister of Information. Secondly, he put it out in official communication. So the idea of him not being aware doesn't come into it at all. As a cabinet minister whose job it is to provide definitive information to the public, any statement or any information put out in an official capacity, because this went out not just on his own Twitter handle, it also went out on the Ministry of Information's public channels as well. So any sort of information like that is put out officially, you have to assume that he's aware or the ministry is aware. So him not being aware doesn't come into it at all. And just to complete what I was saying earlier, it then came out yesterday when the cable, the online newspaper, then did its own separate verification and reached out to the UAE authorities, who then stated very clearly that they do not know anything about this website. This website has nothing to do with them. So it's clear to see what has happened here. Apparently, the UAE has actually lifted the visa ban against Nigeria and has probably given the Nigerian government some sort of indication that there needs to be some form of verification of people's identities before they go on to apply for UAE visas. I don't know whether that happened for a fact. That's just a guess that I'm making. And then someone within the Nigerian establishment got a brainwave that their way to make money out of this again was to put up a gate in the middle of a road where people are passing freely. So document verification, which is not a thing that anyone should need to pay for, because you are in Nigerian government screening people who are presenting Nigerian government issued ID. What are you charging them for? And then you're not just charging them. This is not 5,000 naira I'm talking about. This is 640,000 naira. And apparently it's valid for only 14 days at a time, meaning that anyone who travels to Dubai or Abu Dhabi multiple times a year is going to part with millions of naira just to be able to travel. And that money is not going to the UAE authorities. That money is going to an undisclosed private actor within the Nigerian pseudo public space.
I mean, you just gave a core example that someone is putting a gate on a free road. And if this is confirmed, I'm hoping that the government addresses this today. If this is confirmed to be true, it's no different from those thugs who, stop people on the road to collect extra money for them to actually pass when they should actually be able to pass. David, what picture are we painting? We've had a back and forth with the UAE in the past couple of years. What message are we sending about Nigeria to the UAE and to the rest of the world?
Well, the message, unfortunately, that we're sending is that Nigeria is a country that is ruled by those kinds of area boys that you described, the people who stop you on the road and collect money from you for no reason whatsoever. Otherwise, they don't let you pass. That's the perception that is being given to the world now. That in addition to the many negative stereotypes that afflict Nigerians as a people, that even the Nigerian government itself is essentially a criminal entity and will stop at nothing to enact this criminality, including against its own people. Because where you have a UAE government responding to an inquiry from a media outlet and saying that we don't know anything about this, they're actively distancing themselves from this. That in itself is a very powerful statement. That in itself says something, because typically what would happen in a diplomatic setting like that is, so as to avoid creating controversy or creating embarrassment for the counterparty, the UAE embassy would probably say something to the effect of, we'll go seek for clarification or something. They wouldn't put out a definitive statement saying this didn't emanate from us. But that's exactly what they did. So that in itself, if you're familiar with how diplomacy works, that in itself is a statement of exasperation. That shows that
Yeah.
they are tired of these Nigerians, that these guys, we have, as you said, we've gone back and forth with them for I don't know how long now. It's happened twice already that the Nigerian government has come out and told lies that, oh, the UAE visa ban has been lifted. The first time it was CNN that did a fact check, very embarrassing, and said, no, this didn't happen. Then it happened again. And then this has happened again, and then the UAE authorities themselves are saying, whatever is happening between you people and your government, it's between you and your government. We don't have any hand in this. Please don't disturb us. Because that was essentially what that statement said.
Yeah.
So I think that really says it.
I mean,
what I expect will happen is what typically tends to happen when the government is caught with its pants down. And I know this because this happened. In fact, I sat down on this very TV station almost exactly a year ago to the day, discussing a very similar scandal in a different space, the Nigeria Air scandal, where again somebody magicked something out of thin air and created a huge international embarrassment for the country. And the government's response to that was to cover their eyes and cover their ears and cover their mouths. Nobody said anything. It wasn't until the new Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, came in, and then there was some movement, and then eventually they admitted it, which was months later. But in the immediate aftermath of being exposed, they will do what the Nigerian government always does, which is pretend that nothing happened and just ignore it. I hope that people move on to the next thing, because again, the calculation is that Nigerians have the attention span of goldfish. So that's exactly what they're hoping will happen. I don't know whether anyone actually paid that 640,000 naira. I hope they didn't, because if they did, well, best of luck to them. I don't think they're going to be seeing that money again, but we'll see.
When Bola Ahmed Tinubu was campaigning to become the president of Nigeria, many people called him a tax master. Of course, people that experience his rule in Lagos, they say Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a tax master and he's going to do everything possible to ensure that he extorts Nigerians. And most Nigerians do not understand that. But it's obvious that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a real tax master. Maybe the accounting he studied is an accounting of taxation, and that is what he's doing. Every avenue, Bola Ahmed Tinubu seeks to ensure that he extorts the little penny from the pocket of every Nigerian. Of course, Dubai, which is in the United Arab Emirates, is one of the places that most Nigerians love to visit. They tend to go there to chill and enjoy their money. Ever since that ban was placed on Nigerians, there have been constant call for the government to do something to lift up that ban. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, coming in as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, saw that as an opportunity, and he has held several bilateral talks with the United Arab Emirates government. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has seen the desperation in Nigerians to travel to Dubai, and he wants to use that to make money. He has simply created an arbitrage opportunity for Nigerians. You want to travel to Dubai, you got to part away with 640,000 naira. And of course, many Nigerians, they were happy with the news. They equally saw the amount to be paid. Of course, people that are desperate to travel to Dubai, they will part away with that money. But unknowingly to them, it was a scam. Their government is trying to scam them. If not for David Hundeyin that exposed this to the general public, a lot of persons would have gone ahead to pay that money. Nobody, absolutely nobody, would have questioned the rationale behind this. This is exactly what we are facing in our country, Nigeria, today. From the exposure from David Hundeyin, you can see that the criteria that has been listed so far for Nigerians to travel to UAE or other cities in the UAE like Dubai is more of money-making opportunities, either for the UAE government or the federal government. Remember, I said the reason why that ban was placed for the first place was because there was no economic consequences. The UAE does not benefit anything from Nigerians. Therefore, they are opening now their country for you to come in, and the only way they can benefit from you now is to exploit you financially. They were exploiting you financially before, but now the money has tripled. Imagine paying a 640,000 naira non-refundable fee because you want to apply for visas to travel to the UAE. And by the way, I don't even see the feels about traveling to Dubai. I don't even see the feels about this visa ban. I don't even see the reason why it should be celebrated. I don't even see the reason why Reno or Mokri will now have to come and begin to advise Nigerians or more or like gaslight Nigerians. The only reason why this is happening is because we as Nigerian citizens, we have failed our country. Our politicians, yes, we know, they failed us. But we have failed more. Because we are the one that enabled these people to ruin this country. were the one that enabled these people to destroy this country, to the extent that a country like UAE had to delist Nigerians from coming to their country. That is a shame. It's an international disgrace. United Arab Emirates, especially Dubai, was built by the people. Why can't we build our own country so that people can come to this country, so that people can crave to travel to Nigeria? Why can't we do that? Why do we love traveling to another man's country? You travel to this country and you enjoy the technology that is there. You travel to this country and you enjoy the development that is there. This development were made possible by the people. They elected good leaders. But rather than you electing good leaders, you will rather decide to play tribal card. And at the end of the day, you want to jump out to another person's country. A country that is so open, a country that is so diverse, a country that accepts every other person's. You go there and you enjoy their diversity. But here in your own country, you cannot accept your diversity. It's just a shame. Kudos to every one of you that will be traveling. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.